Hey Neppers, it's me, Wild Neptune. Exciting news in the world of Epic 7. In just a few days, we're gonna have the triple RGB banner. If you want to know how you can take advantage of this rare opportunity, just stay in for the rest of this video. And before that though, as always, please like, comment, subscribe. Any type of support is always appreciated. Now, let's get into the video. Now, to best explain what this triple banner is going to be like, it's best to show you the current Mystic custom banner, because they work in a fairly similar fashion. In the Mystic banner, of course, you choose your heroes and you start pulling. It works similarly in the triple banner. You will choose 3 5-star heroes, and you get those artifacts connected to them. There are some exceptions, though, in what you can pick. One, you cannot pick collab heroes. So this means you cannot pick FMA, you cannot pick ReZero, you cannot pick Slime, Guilty Gear, Espa. Also, heroes released within, I believe, the past 6 months or so also cannot be selected. So same way that the Mystic banner here has worked, you cannot pick the newest heroes. Also, limited heroes, you can pick limited heroes. However, if a limited hero has not had a rerun, in the past, they've also not been selectable. So this would mean no Ahmed, who released within the past 6 months anyway, and it also means no Sharklet. However, because both of those are new and have not been rerun, you can expect them to be rerun in the future pretty soon in Sharklet's case, who I'm assuming will be rerun this summer. Also worth noting that the old limited heroes, such as Cerise, DN, Luna, they do not get individual reruns anymore. So this is the only time where you'll be able to pick them up throughout the year when one of these triple banners is happening. Just like in the Mystic thing here, there's going to be a coin shop, right? So there'll be no pity. So 121 does not mean that you guaranteed a 5-star hero. However, you can spend those coins on the hero or on the artifact. In the past, it's been 120 coins for the hero and 100 coins for the artifact. You can only buy the artifact one time with the coins. However, you can also buy the artifacts in the powder shop for an additional time for the 240, just like if it was on a banner. The only heroes that are 5 stars in the banner will be the 3 you pick. The 1% pull rate will be split among the 3 of them, so 1/3 of 1% for each of them. However, every artifact in the pool will be in there. So if you're counting on just getting the artifacts you want, well, I hate to break it to you, that's probably not going to happen because off-banner artifacts are still gonna be a thing. Originally, I was going to do a tier list of all the heroes you can get. However, that seems a little bit overboard considering that most players will only be looking for specific heroes, mainly limited, and some artifacts. So I'm going to go to the limited heroes and the pros and cons in picking them. Maybe a couple of RGBs too, key artifacts you might want to look at. Also keep in mind that traditionally, triple banners have meant that a collab of some sort has been, a little bit close to happening. Again, that is just speculation on my part there. However, it has been something that has been done in the past. So, without further ado, let's get into the units here. And we will be going in the order which they appear on the screen here. The first one will be this Holiday You Fiend. Her side story is in the Book of Memories, which means that she will not be rerun as an individual banner. So this is the only chance you have to get her if you want her. Her artifact is Champion's Trophy. It has a effectiveness bonus with a small chance to stun for warriors. It's been used sometimes on Conqueror Lilius. However, Conqueror Lilius is a hero that has had several artifacts such as Music Box, Border Coin, and the like, which she has used in the past. So more of a, alternative tech, maybe even a meme option of the sorts. Holiday Fiend herself has never been a meta threat. She's never been a S top tier hero. However, she has always had a small niche that you can play in some pocket pick cases, but really nothing more than that. Personally, she's one of my favorite characters and units in the game, so I have her geared and I use her quite a bit. However, one player using her effectively should not sway you in thinking that she is a particularly strong unit at the moment, because right now I would say that she's very hard to use, and the current meta will probably make it even harder with units like Lesser of the Crowd and the like being really popular. In addition to that, I find it difficult to see her ever really rise into prominence as a top threat unless some drastic changes were made to the game. Next up is a 5-star ranger, Summertime Iceria. Her artifact is Orb of the Deep Sea, Sword of whatever the Deep Sea artifact is. It's the one where you want to have it at plus 30 if you want to use her, Summertime Iceria, or Pirate Flan. Basically required for those two heroes, and yes, again, plus 30, so yes, big whale or long-time player type deal. Summertime Iceria herself is a good unit. I've been seeing a little more use now than in the past. When she was first released with Ran and the like, they became meta cleave staples for a long time. It's harder now with units like Edward and stuff running around. So a lot of times, Edward bans will mean that Summertime Iceria is an open option for those strategies. Again, plus 30 artifact required. However, they are two heroes that require specific playstyles and certain metas to really work in. So if you don't plan on using those two heroes, or let's say you don't even have those two heroes, this might be a skip for you. However, I do know that a lot of long-term veteran players are going to be picking this banner, not really for the hero, but for the artifact. Luna is the original limited character in the game. Probably the most hyped character that Epic 7 has ever had, for a good reason. Unfortunately, right now, Luna is not very good. Pretty much constrained to only PvE, and even in PvE, she's outshadowed by a lot of other units, unfortunately for her. Her artifact is Draco Plate. It's a warrior artifact, and it is a very good artifact with a caveat in that it is rarely, if ever, the best in slot for a warrior. I believe the only warrior that might consider it best in slot would be Lionheart Shermia. It's between that and Proof of Valor, and the reason why people opt for Draco Plate sometimes is because only one Proof of Valor works at a time on a team. So if you want to draft it with units that are already using that proof, such as maybe APOC Ravi, then you really want the Draco Plate in order to get that benefit from it. Otherwise, units like, say, Fire Ravi, they really like Sigurds. Sigurds is just such a good warrior artifact overall that Draco Plate doesn't really see as much play. Units like Shu, you're probably using like Snow Crystal. Maybe you're using Symbol. Units like Alencia, unless it knocks Wrath, or the Full Metal artifact is usually considered better on a unit like Alencia. So yes, Draco Plate is a strong alternative artifact for warriors, but rarely best in slot. And again, Luna herself, she's a good-looking hero, however, not in the best state right now. Okay, I don't really have to talk about Cerise that much. She's not really that great in PvP anymore, really restricted to PvE only. However, you could just be choosing the artifact and not even have her in the pool at all, and you would still pick it because the artifact is Guiding Light. If you played Epic 7 PvP for 1 second, you know that Guiding Light is the most important ranger artifact that has ever been made, probably overtuned. It is just very, very good. If your ranger does not have Guiding Light on, it's on some meme MLM type build. Believe me, I know, I run those builds. It's just so essential for a lot of common builds on rangers for them to actually work and survive because of the way that the meta is right now. When Guiding Light first came out, Rangers were not very strong, and like overnight, basically, you were seeing teams with like 2, 3, sometimes even 4 Rangers on them. That's how good Guiding Light is and how necessary it is for, again, a lot of those common builds. So it doesn't really matter how good the unit is. The artifact is just bustedly important to have. Every player, I believe, will be choosing Cerise unless they already have, like, I don't know, 4 max Guiding Lights that they are working with here. Ceasidebologna is another unit here you can pick up. Not really that used anymore in PvP. She has some believers, and some people have her geared as like some sort of counter pick. Now, how valuable is this counter pick right now? Probably not very, especially with units like Lazar the Crow and the like being popular. She is used in one of the more common Wyvern one-shot teams. And yes, her artifact is more or less required in it too. Even though with very good gear, you can get away with not using her own artifact. However, her artifact is really only used on her right now. And since her niche is very, very narrow, you only pull on her if you really, really want her. Fairy Tale Tenebria is the next unit here. And she was buffed recently. However, even though her buff did make her better, it wasn't really enough to make her see a lot of play. I think she was a pretty decent unit given the right circumstances. However, the meta has now shifted to make it even harder to use, in my opinion. Her artifact, though, is Fairy Tale for a Nightmare. It is a key artifact that is essential for some common builds on a couple of good units, such as Solitaria, Archdemon Shadow, and some area builds will also be run this artifact. Now, these heroes do have alternatives that they can use, and besides this one, so the usage rate of those heroes on your account and whether or not your builds need that type of artifact will really determine whether or not you want to pull on her for her artifact, basically, or not. If you do not have this artifact, she is probably one of the better banners for you to choose. However, again, it does depend on your playstyle and on your unit pool. DN is the, I believe, lone Soul Weaver that's going to be on the list here. DN was used a little while ago, pretty commonly when there was a Soul Weaver Frenzy with the bonus speed. However, after that Frenzy went away and that was Mage Frenzy, DN started seeing, well, no play. Now, last time we've had the Night meta a long time ago, so a lot of the game has changed. But last time we've had stuff like RLRK, a Tywin, and the like at the forefront of the meta. DN played a very, very important part in it. However, like I said, with more units, the meta by whole is even more aggressive at the moment. So it's yet to be seen whether or not DN is going to slot back in like she did all that time ago. Her artifact is Unfading Memories, I believe it's called, is a Slower artifact. It gives some nice bonus ER and some good healing when using non-attack skills. It is probably a worse artifact than Guardian Ice Crystals, which is a call-up artifact, so if we don't have it, you have to wait for a rerun to get it. The end herself, she's a kind of a risky pick, I would say. She is okay in PvP, even though she's not used. She's probably okay in PvP, RTA. She's actually really good in PvE. However, this list is going to be more predicated again towards PvP. There are just better options to choose than DN. However, she's not an awful choice considering that she is a limited hero who is not going to get a rerun. And last up, we have Landy. So if you're new, you 100% pick Landy if you don't have her. Now, if you do have Landy, and let's say you only have 1 or 2 and want imprints, if you want to do that, that's really up to you. She is a unit that does benefit quite a bit from imprints because getting that attack is really nice on her, especially because of her passive, where she scales up attack even more so. However, it is not necessary to do. And if you can benefit from other, say, artifacts or heroes, I would go for those first. Of course, if you're already at Triple S, the artifact Wall of Order, while it's an okay artifact, it's not Guiding Light, and it is rather difficult to use on the Ranger class. As a brief recap here, if you are new, have nothing here, I recommend you pick Landy for Landy, Cerise for Guiding Light to put on Landy, and also one other limited hero of your choice. It could be any one, of course. I give my opinions on which ones I think are better or worse. However, pick one you like. Pick one that you think will advance your account the most. Now, I know most veteran players who have a lot of these heroes are choosing for artifacts, which I personally believe is the way to go for most people who are not new. The key ones that most people are going to pick up, of course, are Cerise for the Guiding Light. They like Seaside Summertime Iceria for the Bomb artifact, and also Fairy Tale for Nightmare connected to Fairy Tale Tenebria seems to be the big ones for those. Now you might be asking, let's say I only had to pull on 2 limited heroes. I have a third flex spot open for a non-limited. How should I decide? Well, I'm going to go through my mindset here because I am in a position where I can potentially choose a non-limited hero, and maybe this will help you process through what you should do. So, I am choosing Cerise for more Guiding Lights, and I am choosing Summertime Iceria for the Bomb artifact. However, I am debating between if I want more Fairy Tale books or if I want to summon on more copies of Aria. And this is why I am considering Aria. One, I already have a maxed book for Fairy Tale. It's on Aria right now. However, Aria's own artifact is also very good on her, and I would like more imprints on Aria also. So, if I max out her own artifact, I can move the Fairy Tale book that's on her onto another unit and, well, have imprints for Aria too. So it's basically killing multiple birds here with one stone. Let's say maybe you need imprints for Apoc Ravi, and you also need more Side Sights. Well, maybe you want to summon on the Ravi banner. Now, do I recommend doing this for most people? Probably not. But it is something that you might want to consider if you only need to pull on 2 limited banners. Of course, there are a ton of examples like this that you can go through for your own account. It's going to be different for everybody. Again, remember that these triple banners have meant usually that collabs have been right around the corner. So if you're unsure on what you want to do, just wait and see what's going to happen. Remember though to spend your coins before they go away because they do not roll over. Take your time on this. Make sure that when you pick your heroes, you know what you want and what you're going to get. Again, also have a plan. Anyway, I hope this has been helpful for everybody here. I'm Neptune. It's been a good one. Nep out.